Alright, so I'll try to pick up where I left off. 3 Enoch, or the Hebrew book of Enoch. So I just did the introduction. So here, now it says chapter 1, then it says introduction again. First it says, by Rabbi Ishmael ben Elisha, the high priest. Introduction. Rabbi Ishmael ascends to heaven to witness the vision of the Merkabah chariot. He is given to Metatron. And Enoch walked with God, and he was not, for God took him. I ascended on high to witness the vision of the Merkabah, the divine chariot, and I had entered the 6 halls, which were situated within one another. Then it's got a note underneath here. The halls were in the concentric circles, one within the other. I'm not sure if I'll read all these. Sometimes I end up just skipping them because they seem a little redundant, or I'm not sure what to make of them. So I might just stick to the text. Anyways, just letting you know. I probably will do that. I don't know. We'll see. Okay, sorry about that. Verse 2. As soon as I reached the door of the 7th hall, I stood still in prayer before the Holy One, blessed be he. I lifted up my eyes on high towards the divine majesty, and I said, Lord of the universe, I pray you that the worthiness of Aaron, the son of Amram, who loves and pursues peace, and who received the crown of priesthood from your glory on Mount Sinai, be upon me in this hour, so that Kapsiel, the prince, and the angels with him may not overcome or overpower me, nor cast me down from the heavens. And then it says, Kapsiel is an angel of a high order, set to guard the 7th hall of heaven. At that moment, the Holy One, blessed be he, sent Metatron, his servant, also called Ebed, to me. He is the angel, the prince of the presence. With great joy he spread his wings as he came to meet me in order to save me from their hand. And by his hand he took me so that they could see us. And he said to me, enter in peace before the high and exalted king, and see the picture of Merkabah, the chariot. Merkabah means chariot, or in this case, chariot of fire or chariot of light. It is pulled by 4 hayot, I guess, Chayot, or living creatures, each of which has 4 wings and the 4 faces of a man, lion, ox, and eagle. As it states in Ezekiel, the Bible makes mention of 3 types of angel found in the Merkabah. The first is the seraphim, burning angels. These angels appear like flashes of fire, continuously ascending and descending. These seraphim angels powered the movement of the chariot. In the hierarchy of these angels, seraphim are the highest, that is, the closest to God, followed by the hayot, which are followed by the onaphim. The chariot is in a constant state of motion, and the energy behind this movement runs according to this hierarchy. The movement of the onaphim is controlled by the hayot, while the movement of the hayot is controlled by the seraphim. The movement of all the angels of the chariot are controlled by the likeness of a man on the throne. All right, verse 6. Then I entered the 7th hall, and he led me to the camps of Shekinah, understanding, and stood me in front of the Holy One, blessed be he, to see the Merkabah. All right, there's some long notes here, but I don't know that I should skip over them. So this says Shekinah, or Shekinah, is derived from a Hebrew verb literally meaning to settle, inhabit, or dwell. Let's see. See Exodus 40:35. Moses could not enter the tent of meeting, for the cloud rested, the Shekinah, upon it, and the glory of the Lord filled the tabernacle. See also Genesis 9:27, 14:13, Psalm 37:3, Jeremiah 33:16, as well as the weekly Shabbat blessing recited in the temple. May he who causes his name to dwell, Shekinah, in this house, cause to dwell among you love and brotherliness, peace and friendship. Also see Talmud Ketubot 85b. Shekinah can also mean royalty or royal residence. Sorry if I'm saying this wrong, by the way. Shekinah has come to mean the effect or manifestation caused by the presence or inhabitation of God. The manifestation is glory, creativity, and understanding. These words may be used to explain Shekinah or Shekinah. So glory, creativity, or understanding. As soon as the princes of the Merkaba and the flaming seraphim knew I was there, they fixed their gaze on me, trembling and shuddering, seized me at once, and I fell down and was numbed by the brightness of the vision of their faces, until the Holy One, blessed be He, chastised them, saying, My servants, my seraphim, my cherubim, my seraphim, my cherubim, and my ophanim, cover your eyes before Ishmael, my son, my friend, my beloved one, and my glory, so that he ceases trembling and shaking. The root of seraphim comes either from the Hebrew verb seraph, to burn, or Hebrew noun seraph, a fiery flying serpent. Because the term appears several times with reference to the serpents encountered in the wilderness, Numbers 21:8, Deuteronomy 8:15, Isaiah 14:29, and 30 verse 6, it has often been understood to refer to fiery serpents. From this, it has also often been proposed that the seraphim were serpentine in form and in some sense fiery creatures or associated with fire. It is said that whoever lays eyes on a seraph, he would instantly be incinerated due to its immense brightness. That's fun. All right. Cherubs, I don't know how to say this, are described as winged angels. The prophet Ezekiel describes the cherubim as a tetrad of living creatures, each having 4 faces, that of a lion, an ox, an eagle, and a man. They are said to have the stature and hands of a man, the feet of a calf, and 4 wings. 2 of the wings extended upward, meeting above and sustaining the throne of God, while the other 2 stretched downward and covered the creatures themselves. Onaphim are described in 1 Enoch as never sleeping. They watch and guard the throne of God. The word ophan means wheel in Hebrew. For this reason, the Onaphim have been associated with the chariots in Ezekiel and Daniel. They are mentioned as gagal, traditionally the wheels of Gagalim in fiery flame, and that's interesting, because I think, I don't know, there's Joshua, in the book of Joshua, I think they dwell at Gilgal, not Galgal, but Gilgal, and I think it means rolling, and this is supposed to associated with the wheels of Gagalim. I don't know, that's my own note, sorry about that. And fiery flame and burning fire of the four-eyed covered wheels, each composed of 2 nested wheels that move next to the winged cherubim beneath the throne of God. The 4 wheels move with the cherubim because the spirit of the cherubim is in them. Or cherubim, I don't know how you're supposed to say it. I know sometimes the CH seems like it's pronounced with just an H, so I don't know. These are also referred to as the many-eyed ones in 2 Enoch. Though Onaphim are also equated to the thrones and associated with the wheels in the vision of Daniel, chapter 7, verse 9, they carry the throne of God, hence the name. This may be a good time to explain the singular and plural in Hebrew. Whereas in English we add an S to denote a plural, in Hebrew an im is added. Thus there is 1 cherub or cherub, but many cherubim or cherubim. There is 1 seraph, but many seraphim. Knowing this fact may make the text easier to follow. There we go, done with that note. Verse 9, Then Metatron, the prince of the presence, came and placed my spirit in me again, and he stood me up on my feet. After that moment, for an hour, I did not have enough strength to sing a song before the throne of glory of the glorious King, the mightiest of all kings, the most excellent of all princes. After an hour had passed, the Holy One, blessed be He, opened the gates of Shekinah, understanding to me. These are the gates of peace and of wisdom and of strength and of power and of speech and of song and of kedusha, this means sacred salutation of holy, 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 and the gates of chanting. And he opened and shined his light in my eyes, in my heart, by words of psalm, song, praise, exaltation, thanksgiving, extolment, glorification, hymn, and eulogy. As I opened my mouth, singing a song before the Holy One, blessed be He, the holy Hayot, beneath and above the throne of glory, answered and said, Holy, blessed be the glory of Yahweh from this place. The Hayot or Cheot are a class of Merkaba, or Jewish mystical angels, reported in Ezekiel's vision of the Merkaba and its surrounding angels as recorded in the first chapter of the book of Ezekiel, describing his vision by the river Habar. Kedusha, sacred salutation of Holy, 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 is a call to greet and glorify God. Kidiosh, 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 Adonai, Sebayot. Holy, Holy, Holy is the Lord God of hosts. This is the Kadoish. Sorry, I probably said that wrong. Kodoish? I don't know. Whatever. This is a sacred... sorry. Thanks for bearing with me. This is a sacred salutation. The Kedusha, sacred salutation of Holy, 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 which is used by all the heavenly hosts to worship the Father before his throne. That was just chapter 1. Oh my goodness. Whew. All right, chapter 2. The highest classes of angels make inquiries about Rabbi Ishmael, which are answered by Metatron. What is this? This is in bold. I can't remember what it said. It was in bold. It was probably in the introduction. Oh, goodness. Sorry about this. Because I don't know if I should be... I think it's just a description. I don't think it's part of the text. So it's, I guess, describing the chapter. Rabbi Ishmael said, "Within the hour, the eagles of the chariot, Merkaba, the flaming Onaphim, and the seraphim of consuming fire asked Metatron, 'Youth, why do you permit one born of woman to enter and see the chariot? From which nation and from which tribe is this one? What is his nature?' Metatron answered and said to them, 'From the nation of Israel, whom the Holy One, blessed be he, chose for his people from among 70 tongues. He is from the tribe of Levi, whom he set aside as a contribution to his name. He is from the seed of Aaron, whom the Holy One, blessed be he, chose for his servant, and he put upon him the crown of priesthood on Sinai.' Then they spoke and said, 'Happy is the people that is in that position.'" Chapter 3. Metatron has 70 names, but God calls him Youth. Rabbi Ishmael said, "In that hour I asked Metatron the angel, the prince of the presence, 'What is your name?' He answered me, 'I have 70 names, corresponding to the 70 nations of the world, and all of them are based upon the name Metatron, angel of the presence. But my king calls me Youth, Na'ar.'" So I guess that's what youth means, N-A-A-R. 70 tongues represent the 70 nations, or the entirety of the whole known world. It is likely the word youth is used because Metatron is the newest and youngest being in heaven. The 70 names are derived from the divine name, or the tetragrammaton, Yahweh, Yod-He-Vav-He, or I said that wrong, I'm sure I said that wrong. Yah is a shortened version of this, meaning God. Metatron is Enoch, who was translated to heaven at the time of the flood. This is chapter 4, I guess. I might stop reading these intros because I don't know that this is that helpful. All right. Rabbi Ishmael said, "I asked Metatron and said to him, 'Why does your creator call you by 70 names? You are greater than all the princes, higher than all the angels, beloved more than all the servants, honored above all the mighty ones in kingship, greatness and glory. So why do they in the heavens call you Youth?' He answered me and said, 'Because I am Enoch, the son of Yered. When the generation of the flood sinned and were twisted and contorted in their deeds, saying unto God, Depart from us, we do not want the knowledge of your ways. Then the Holy One, blessed be he, removed me from their midst, so that I could be a witness against them in the high heavens to all the inhabitants of the world, so that they cannot say the merciful one is cruel. What sin did all those throngs of their wives, their sons and their daughters, their horses, their mules, and their cattle, and their property, and all the birds of the world commit, so that the Holy One, blessed be he, destroyed the world, together with them in the waters of the flood? They cannot say, What in the generation of the flood sinned, and what sin did they do, so that the beasts and the birds should perish with them? Then the Holy One, blessed be he, lifted me up in their lifetime in their sight, to be a witness against them to the future world. And the Holy One, blessed be he, assigned me to be a prince and a ruler among the ministering angels. And it says, this chapter lays out the purpose of 3 Enoch and why it is so named. Metatron confirms that he is indeed Enoch, who was taken to heaven, translated into the being Metatron. His primary purpose was to be a witness against man's sin on earth. When man or angel asked what sin was committed that all the earth should be destroyed, Enoch, now known as Metatron, would be a witness. In that hour, 3 of the ministering angels, Uzzah, Azza, and Azael, came out and accused me in the high heavens in front of the Holy One, blessed be he. And they said, the progenitors, I don't know, the ancient ones, said before you with justification, do not create man. The Holy One, blessed be he, answered and said unto them, I have made and I will bear, and yes, I will carry and I will deliver. As soon as they saw me, they said before him, Lord of the universe, what is this one that he should ascend to the highest heights? Is he not one from among the sons of those who perished in the days of the flood? What is he doing in the rakia, the firmament, the heavens? What business does he have being in heaven? Some sources have, this is another note, some sources have the names of the angels, including Malaki or Mamlakati. Azael is one of the 10 heads of the heavenly Sanhedrin. Rabbinical sources have Azza and Azael as giants. All 3 are said to be agents of evil who accuse man of sins. These are the fallen angels. Another theory is that Azza and Azael are not individual angels, but are orders of angels. Rakia is a key Hebrew word in Genesis 1, 6-8. It is translated firmament in the King James Version and expanse in the most Hebrew dictionaries. In modern translation, raka means to spread out, beat out, or hammer as one would a malleable metal. It can also mean plate. The Greek Septuagint translated rakia 16 out of the 17 times with the Greek word steroma, which means a firm or solid structure. The Latin Vulgate used the Latin term firmamentum, which also denotes solidness and firmness. The King James translators coined the word firmament because there was no single word equivalent in English. Today, firmament is usually used poetically to mean sky, atmosphere, or heavens. In modern Hebrew, rakia means sky or heavens. However, originally it probably meant something solid or firm that was spread out. Azael is likely the same being as Azazel, the accuser angel who was the leader of the fallen ones. Etymology connects the word with the mythological Uzzah and Azael, the fallen angels, to whom a reference is believed to be found in Genesis 6, verse 2 and 4. In accordance with this etymology, the sacrifice of the goat atones for the sin of fornication of which those angels were guilty. Leviticus 16, 8-10. And Aaron shall cast lots upon the 2 goats, one lot for the Lord and the other lot for Azazel. And Aaron shall present the goat on which the lot fell for the Lord and offer it as a sin offering. But the goat on which the lot fell for Azazel shall be presented alive before the Lord to make atonement over it, that it may be sent away into the wilderness to Azazel. Again, the Holy One, blessed be he. Sorry, this is going back into the text now. Again, the Holy One, blessed be he, answered and said to them, what are you, that you enter and speak in my presence? I delight more in this one than in all of you put together, and therefore he will be a prince and a ruler over you in the high heavens. Then they all stood up and went out to meet me, and bowed themselves down before me, and said, happy are you, and happy is your Father, your Creator, who favors you. And because I am small and a youth among them in days, months, and years, therefore they call me youth. All right, I guess I'll stop here at chapter 5. So, sorry about that. I felt like I was stumbling over that a lot. If anyone is actually watching this and interested in it, when I upload this, just leave me a comment if you think I should keep reading the descriptive notes or if I should just try to read through the text alone. Part of me wants to just read through the text alone because I feel like it would just flow a lot better. This just feels so muddled down and wordy, and then switching in and out like that feels like I'm missing more of the text to pause and read these weird descriptors. But if you enjoy them, I don't know, leave a comment as well, so that way I can know which to do. All right, thanks.